India has stunned China and Bangladesh yet again by gaining the rights to operate the strategic Mongla Port terminal. This is a highly significant diplomatic win for the Indian government under Prime Minister Modi to limit Chinese influence in India's backyard amid Beijing's efforts to run the Bangladeshi port and secure influence in the Indian Ocean region. Mongla Port is located near the Pasho River in Bangladesh and is the second largest seaport in the country after Chittagong. This will be India's third largest overseas port operation after Chabahar in Iran and the Sittwe port in Myanmar. According to reports, the port will be operated by the Indian Port Global Limited. In April this year, an Indian delegation from the IPGL, headed by its managing director, visited Mongla Port to conduct a study of the operational facilities in detail. An official announcement followed by the details of the pact are expected to be released shortly. The deal was probably discussed during Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's meeting with Prime Minister Modi in New Delhi last month. Former Indian naval officer Commodore C. Uday Bhaskar told reporters, quote, "Mongla is a potentially major opportunity for India to establish its credibility as an equitable port partner for Indian Ocean littorals seeking such expertise," unquote. The operation of the Mongla port gives India a strategic edge in its neighborhood over China. Management of the port in both western and eastern parts of the Indian Ocean positions India as a net security provider. This comes at a time when the Chinese companies are already involved in a global maritime race to gain quasi-control of foreign ports to make it their strategic outpost. But how exactly will the operation of Mongla Port benefit India? Remember, India already had rights to transit and transshipment cargo vessels at the Mongla and Chittagong ports from 2023 onwards. The decision taken by Bangladesh will reduce both time and costs for transporting goods to India's northeastern states and West Bengal by avoiding the narrow Siliguri Corridor, commonly known as the Chicken's Neck, which otherwise had to be done via road transportation. However, shipping is always a cheaper option and would enable connectivity to the northeast, even in case of a conflict. The operation of the port will lead to an overall increase in trade between both the nations. Prompting regional connectivity, investments in Mongla Port will give India a strong foothold in the Bay of Bengal and Indian Ocean region, which has now become a focal point of geopolitical friction. Construction of 2 more jetties is underway at this port, considering the increased volume of cargo generated thanks to transshipment facilities given to India, Nepal and Bhutan. So how else is India edging out China's influence in Bangladesh? Now, this is not the first time Bangladesh has shown signs of weaning off Chinese influence and dumping Beijing for New Delhi. India also backed the Teesta River project last week after Sheikh Hasina announced that she prefers her neighboring nation India to execute the $1 billion river development project. Bangladesh Prime Minister Hasina, in public display of reaffirming ties with India, told reporters at a press conference in Dhaka on the 14th of July, quote, "China is ready, but I want India to do the project," unquote. Bangladesh's India tilt comes amidst reports of Sheikh Hasina abruptly cutting short her China visit over unfulfilled financial promises and protocol issues. Back-to-back approval of projects for India from Bangladesh's sides indicate that Dhaka has seen the true face of the CCP. Neither did China provide Bangladesh with the promised $5 billion loan, nor did Beijing respect PM Hasina by cutting short her meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi did not even call upon Bangladesh Prime Minister during her China visit. Even the Chinese media, known for giving prominent coverage to visiting leaders, did not give Sheikh Hasina the same courtesy. Reportedly, Hasina was rattled by China for not extending the appropriate protocol to a visiting dignitary. Beijing has time and again pressured Dhaka not to conduct visits to New Delhi before China. The move is set to soothe India's security concerns, which revolved around Bangladesh leaning towards Beijing in the past. So how has India made a strategic decision to become a global maritime trade player? Reviewing its port diplomacy and boosting its competence in maritime management has certainly become Modi 3.0's top priority. China moves to manage key infrastructure projects in India's immediate neighborhood is a matter of discomfort and security concern for India. China's growing footprint in the Indian Ocean region is visible in the form of a string of pearls controlling the critical trade routes and encircling India. In order to sustain itself in the Indian Ocean, China in 2017 opened its first ever overseas military facility in the Indian Ocean region in Djibouti, in the Horn of Africa. Beijing controls the Kiao Kip Hiu port on the western coast of Myanmar and is among several China-controlled ports in the region, including a naval base in Cambodia, Hambantota in Sri Lanka, Gwadar in Pakistan. This apart from 17 Indian Ocean ports Chinese firms are involved in. This maritime expansion is part of the oceanic component of Chinese President Xi Jinping's flagship Belt and Road Initiative aimed at improving China's access to world markets. India, on the other hand, is a new entrant in the game of global maritime power play through strategic port acquisitions. Over the next decade, India aims to pay more attention to this sector, especially to counter Chinese influence in its immediate neighborhood. What do you believe? How significant is India's geopolitical win over China in Bangladesh? Leave a comment, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.